neither condone nor abide by this fucking recording session happening in my kitchen.
Psychedelic Space Beef Band. God damn it.
She's hungry for Mongolia barbecue and dick.
Basically, what's going to happen is every week we're going to offer to suck Mark in.
Steven, do you realize how bad of an idea this was? This is an idiotic. So this is our episode. Yeah, exactly. How Backstreet Boys. It's like, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing?
Shit, we gotta be over here.
Like, as a friend, come on, guys.
An incredibly poor decision and literally betrays everything that the beef sesh is about.
And with that, we're live.
All right.
So I think what we should do is just go ahead and just you lead the whole thing in.
All right.
And then you kind of moderate the discussion as far as Partner Steve investigates.
Sounds good. So today is July 7th, so we're a couple days removed from the biggest anime convention outside of Comic-Con, I believe, Anime Expo in Los Angeles.
My God.
And what a time that we had. Man. So Steve.
Yes.
So this is, you've been to conventions before.
I have.
What kind of conventions have you been to?
I've gone to a Star Wars convention about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I went to a...
So were there people dressing up there?
There was good cosplay there.
Nice.
They have a different sort of cosplay, kind of one leaning towards the... they seem to be a more organized form of cosplaying, where like the 501st, if you want to be a stormtrooper.
They had like little sections where you like signed up to be like part of this and that.
It's like a version where you're basically you kind of have to be like registered as a cosplayer as like the 501st. So
you can't just show up as a random Star Trooper.
You could, but like you actually have like organized like groups of people. So like 501st Japan, 501st San Francisco, 501st like Detroit.
So everyone's just 501st.
Yeah, it's kind of the deal. It's like the elite.
Wait, did you cosplay at Expo?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because I wasn't there the first 2 days, so.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, obviously, but.
Yeah.
Did anybody in our group dress up at all?
No.
Yeah, we just were fucking drunk as shit the whole time.
No. So anyway, I've done I've done a Star Wars convention.
Okay, so you've seen a little bit of. I mean, how I assume it was not at the LA convention center?
It was at the LA convention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it as packed as Anime Expo?
No.
Yeah, I don't think many are.
It's very rare. I think I've been to smaller conventions, both in like one in New York at the Javits and one at the LA like audio conventions for Audio Engineering Society. Those are very small.
Right.
And I've done the NAMM show, which is it's a trade show. It's not necessarily.
Is that one in Anaheim or?
That's in Anaheim because that's a bigger show floor they have there. So
okay, so you've been to some pretty big cons. Yeah. Okay, so it's you weren't going in completely blind here.
No, I had a format. I had a both sort of.
You did have that preparation H or whatever.
Yeah, for the chafing.
You had your game plan ready.
For the hemorrhoids.
The hemorrhoids.
Make sure you didn't get too butthurt at AX.
Know when to like you need to refill and replenish your body full of
moisturize your butthole.
Yeah,
salty fluids.
It was a con full of boy pussy, that's for sure. So I can get the approach there.
Oh, I attended the Maiden Butler Cafe, so I got a first-hand taste.
How'd you get in there?
I just walked in, dude. Just walked right in.
It's a ticketed event.
Sold out.
I know. They just like. I walked
Thursday.
by it. No, I walked by it, and there was like the people who were like in front of the door just kind of moved away for a second, and I was just like, I
kept an eye on that door for like the next 10 minutes. He walked in like the only 3-second stretch, and like the entire time where you could have gotten
they
in.
Closed the door.
No, but I don't know, like, dude,
like,
this entire group of people just embraced me, and they were like, all right, come sit with us, yeah.
The ultimate bad man.
Oh man,
we'll get to you later.
Yeah, no, there's quite a story.
So yeah, this is if you didn't know already, this is a first episode of of a Lost Beat 6 podcast called Punish Steve Investigates.
Oh yeah, we haven't done one of these before yet, have we?
This is our first one, and they got the ball rolling early on this one. This is if those who care to even listen to this, we've been talking anime for the last couple.
Yes, all the adoring fans.
Oh yeah, all the anime fans. We've got the anime dollar right here.
And I am not an anime fan. I consider myself.
Hey, you've seen
an
what, like
outsider.
two shows?
I've seen whatever
like
you
Cowboy
curate.
Bebop and Foolie Cooley.
Whatever
Those are the
you-
only two you saw on your own, right?
I saw a lot of the Miyazaki movies.
Oh yeah, that's true. A lot of people have seen those.
But no, I and everything I've seen has been curated under either you or other peers.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's
Anime Expo.
It's
Yeah,
not something I seek out, and it's not something But I am so fascinated by the intensity in which these people will go to such great lengths to cosplay their favorite or whatever their best appearance and whatever's hot, whatever's the dankest meme.
Oh yeah, whatever aired in the spring season, you're going to get a lot of that. The spring season being from April to June because the convention's in July, so that's like the freshest season.
It's such a fascinating experience because like when I'm a fan of something, I'll get really into the facts and I'll get really into I'll do my research on the topic.
What kind of facts do you mean? Like,
I'll just start reading up on stuff.
About like who created it, or about like facts like of the in-universe thing, like the world.
Like, not necessarily anime, but just like if I'm interested in a band.
Okay.
Like a music thing.
Oh, okay. So you'll just start, researching it.
Yeah, and finding out what I can about it. I don't often, I rarely buy merch unless it's at a show.
Right. I'm kind of the same way. Because, like, well, at least for anime, you get taxed to shit from imports if you buy anime merch, not in person. So Anime Expo was actually a really good opportunity to buy a lot of stuff that would cost you, an arm and a leg if you ordered it online. I mean, that was a special gift.
So it's such a, but I would never like dress up as. I consider like it was the closest thing I'd had to like sports fans. The closest thing I could like acute to it like is like a sports fan who would buy.
I mean, honestly, I'd say your Star Wars convention would be closer. Than
Star Wars is close, and I was a very big Star Wars fan at a point in time.
Right.
I never cosplayed, but I would buy the video games. I'd buy a lot of merch. I remember dressing up as in that convention with a bathrobe. I just wore like regular clothes, like a bathrobe. I decided to be like some sort of like
Jedi,
some Jedi like weeb-esque character, like Jedi nerd who is like living in his mom's basement, smoking weed. This is 10 years ago, and then just had a couple lightsabers attached to his pockets of the bathrobe.
It's a pretty creative cosplay you got there.
It was very satirical,
but like I don't know. I feel like the Star Wars thing is pretty much Star Trek is probably a little bit more similar than Star Wars because Star Trek's a little bit more hardcore, whereas like anime in the West is not really.
Star Trek is also more dense. The material is a lot more dense. There's more material to work with.
More hard sci-fi rather than science fantasy or whatever the distinction you want to make.
And I love the TNG show. So it's like I watch the series and I like the show.
Yeah,
and
TNG's great.
Same with Star Wars right now. I've lost the lure of the fandom because it just doesn't appeal to me like with the intensity of like how dare you do this and that. It becomes more of it becomes more casual. It's not like
I mean like there was 100,000 people probably that bought tickets. I don't know. There was thousands of people every day.
Yeah.
And not everyone went every day, but yeah, Anime Expo was thankfully at least this year it wasn't so goddamn hot. Normally when you go there it's it's super hot inside and hotter outside or vice versa, there's no escape.
I was going for this is an approach of like gonzo journalism.
Right.
Where I'm trying to be more participatory.
Now, for most of your journalism, I was, passed out drunk in the hotel. So you're going to have to recap that part.
We had our Fear and Loathing moments. We were just swinging swords in the middle of the room with our shirts off.
Definitely.
So
I'm sure, you remember all the highlights. I remember part of them, but
yeah, it wasn't so hot, but it was wearing a lot of, because I was, I would wear like an Aloha shirt, which I find out they're not that breathable.
Oh, really? Were they like mostly polyester or something?
Yeah. I thoroughly was like, yeah, I had a good time. I was telling people I was more interested in the food trucks there than I was actually of the show, because there was a couple places I actually wanted to eat.
Did you ever go to that? What was that place? They had like the Bernie fries.
Bernie fries? No.
What was the name of that fucking truck, James? You remember that place? Bacon Nation. Did you ever go to Bacon Nation?
No, I didn't.
But the line was shit.
A lot of those, I actually went to the parking lot, the best place without.
Yeah, we
the
were
lines.
Underneath the bridge where they got like a couple. But yeah, across the street, yeah, they've got like a much bigger selection.
Even the hot dogs they were selling, the street food hot dogs were really tasty and $5.
Yeah, no, that was the way to go. If I hadn't run out of cash, that's what I would have done. But they weren't exactly having those little things they plugged into their smartphones. They cash only there.
Didn't have the squares.
No.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you go like bacon stand or not bacon, a hot dog stand, like random like 40-year-old Mexican ladies, they hooked it up.
And there's a couple convention places. Like I noticed there's taco stands that were in the convention center that are actually taste better because they have Anaheim has some of those. The Anaheim Convention Center has some of those taco stands.
Gotcha.
That showed up, and they're actually slightly tastier than your normal convention cafeteria.
Right.
But they're also expensive. But
very expensive.
But the food trucks there were the ones that were actually closer to the hall in the convention center, I actually avoided, mainly because of this. They knew that's where the lines would be.
Oh yeah, no, so they got a big ass line in there.
There was like one in the middle of the parking lot. It was the only food truck that had. It was a Japanese cuisine.
Japanese with quotes.
Well, it had the maid. It had a maid on it, an anime maid. And so there's a line across the hall. And my friend and I, my friend Sean, who'll be on the show soon.
Oh yeah, Sean.
And we were grabbing lunch, and we decided to go. Like he went to get. There was like They passed up the line went past 3 other trucks that had no lines at all. You could walk up and grab a burrito the size of your head. And you can get it within 5 minutes.
Goddamn fucking weebs.
Because they just had to have the fucking like Japanese like anime truck.
Yeah, they're like
show up.
1,000 times folded over.
I'm sure that I don't doubt the food was fine. I'm sure it was good.
I doubt the food was fine.
It's a food truck. I'll take it.
Dude, it's like $15 for a fucking thing of fries with bacon and cheese on it.
Well, that was Bacon Nation. Who knows how much this thing was?
All those trucks are expensive as shit. Like
Kogi Barbecue was a good deal, and they're actually they're legit. Like they got like restaurants opening up and shit.
Oh, okay.
Roy Choi's the man.
The food was good, but I mean, it's just everything is as expensive as there,
Oh, that's true, but
they had the sliders.
You're getting a finer.
Hey man, being in Vegas the month before, it was a breath of fresh air.
Oh,
well, yeah, I'm sure.
At the hotel, I could walk across the street and pay like normal prices for things.
Oh, yeah.
Like sure, at the con itself, you get raped a little bit, but like. Whereas when you're in Vegas, you have to leave the city to like get normal prices, or go into like sketchy ass North Vegas where you don't want to be.
I read about North Vegas.
Yeah, right. North Vegas, man. I think Alex called North Vegas one time the sketchy Olympics. It's like everyone wants to go to Vegas, but the people that can't afford it like move to North Vegas. So it's just.
But no, yeah, it's your food trucks.
So if you plan your trip right, like you can avoid a lot of that shit.
I learned a lot about Uber. It was great,
Oh yeah, and the Uber situation was phenomenal. It was like $3 to $5 a ride, unless you wanted to go at like the peak hours.
I just did the math today. I spent $38 on Uber.
Less than 1 day's parking.
Yes.
Yep, that's the right call.
Like there was parking was $40 to $45, and I spent $38 getting back and forth.
Yeah, like 6 times or something.
Yeah,
7 times.
8 times. I rode share with one person, but yeah, to the anime itself, the convention itself.
Right. It's quite a shit show. It's gotten so big. I wish it was a lot smaller. It's a fucking hassle to walk around. You got people dressing up.
You just gotta go
like
Assassin's
Deadpool
Creed, dude, and push everybody around.
It's not even anime. But.
You just gotta fucking slide around everybody. And if you even wore the Assassin's Creed like cosplay, then it would be even.
It was
better.
even.
Then you would just fit in.
Than last year, There was no opportunities to like do the game where you like try to go as fast as you can while slipping in between people.
Dude, you just have to have the fucking courage, dude. I do it all the time. I'm just like slide up on people. I'm just like, hey.
No, it wouldn't have worked.
Well, it's interesting because I spent most of my time and most of my investigating.
Probably in the exhibit hall.
most of it through
in the hotel room watching me just like
No.
destroy my body.
No, I spent most of it with Truman.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that was like I was planning on having you be my liaison through the whole experience. That turned out to be not the case.
No, didn't happen. So I don't know if I told you beforehand, but most people treat AX as like a place to see all these great panels and all these great guests and buy all this awesome merch, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But
And I'm
most
down.
of the merch, most of the panels, most of the guests are like not even worth seeing at all. They're completely bullshit.
Well,
so me and
that's
Jake treat the convention more like the Las Vegas of anime.
Oh my god, yeah. That's what I enjoyed myself. Like, oh my god, what the fuck? And just the enormity. I think when I wasn't with you guys, there's points and times where Truman, who was probably the most dedicated of the five of us.
I woke up usually around noon and like
he was
didn't
gone.
get
He
to
was
the
gone
con.
when I woke up.
Yeah,
and that
he was
10-ish.
gone at like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
so.
he was a man on a mission.
Oh yeah,
he had to get some magic on, dude.
I mean that was
Little
just that one
competition.
day, but
Oh,
he probably spent like I don't know, like half $1,000 on merch. I spent less than $100, that's for sure.
yeah. It was
Because I mean, like I don't even think there's that much good stuff to buy.
You
You have to be really dedicated to a lot of mediocre shows.
And I've been one where I've sort of, even when I was younger and I wanted to buy stuff at a convention, I never really like, wow, what am I going to do with it? And I have this sort of like, my mentality towards buying things becomes sort of like, am I going to use it or not? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Is there an actual practical
is there a
purpose?
practical purpose? Is this a return on my investment? And maybe I'm
yes.
just like,
I mean, the one good thing about AX that you won't find pretty much anywhere else is the amount of porn you can buy there.
yeah,
And
that's true.
that you can get a definite practical use out of it. You can reread that. So I mean, all the porn there was definitely worth buying. But aside from that,
some good porn there.
the figures, what they sit in a case.
The figure thing is baffling to me.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, it's a decoration. If it's a home decoration, that's fine. But like, there's a certain level of like the way they price it. There were several $1,000 dolls of Hatsune Miku or like anything.
Yeah, for me, the only reason I'd buy like a more than like $30-$40 figure was if it was a show that didn't get a lot of support, and it was like me making this purchase helps fund a second season.
Right.
Because a lot of shows, rely on merchandise
Right.
to get a second season or to make their money back.
Mm-hmm.
So, you buying a Crunchyroll account is not supporting anime. You buying the actual merchandise from shows you like supports anime.
Right.
So the way I see it is, I'd only drop cash if it was like for a show. Like I like K-On! For example, but that made so much money I don't need to really buy much. They're fine, But like say a slightly smaller show, maybe buying a figure, that helps the cause and could get more content out of that.
That seems like a noble enough cause, but even at that, there's also it's hard for me when I was walking down the halls trying to find out what was licensed material and what was fan art. And it's somewhere easy to find the fan art.
Yeah, there's a weird line that I don't even really know myself.
So like I ran into somebody, I asked one of the artists, like, is this a derivative work? Do you own this, or do you give a cut? Because that's what I've been hearing is the way the royalty and the licensing of the intellectual property to manufacturers and retailers.
Right.
How that works. And there's just like a couple fan arts in the main hall. And if it was like an artist alley that we saw it, and there's a lot of artists that were fan artists.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Almost exclusively fan artists.
Yeah. There's a couple like, and she's like, oh no, these are mine. I drew these. So it's like, does this count as a derivative work? How does this work out?
Yeah, do you give any of the money back to the actual creators of the work?
Yeah. And like in Truman Concho, of course it's derivative. Duh. And then, of course it was a silly question in a general, like I knew the answer to, but I wanted to see where she thought on this. And she goes, oh well, I didn't. Of course it's a. No, I give a portion, a percentage. This is licensed out work. But no, if it's just fan art, it's technically there's the line of fair use comes into play. But if fair use kind of goes out the window once you try to make profit off of it.
Right. So I mean, what was the actual answer? Did she give any money back? Like, say she drew pictures of Toho. Does she give anything to Zune or pockets at all?
Based on the answer, I don't think she was aware of the business element to what that was concerning. So I'm going to say she didn't give money back because she's like, what? Like, she was sort of like bewildered by my question.
I guess what I can
but then again,
maybe assume is that in order to sign up for Artist Alley, you have to maybe register what you're selling, like what series, and the fee that you pay to be there will get redistributed to the people that you sign up for.
She was also on the main floor, so I don't know if that was necessarily...
Well, I'm just speculating here, but like obviously there's some paperwork involved when you agree to be in the Artist Alley at a place like AX.
Essentially, there, all the vendors, the way obviously conventions work is you pay for a space,
right?
And you pay for the real estate in advance, almost like years in advance sometimes,
right?
And she was an artist, and she had a good collection of material. So either she was sponsored by a retailer, or she came, she had enough money where she could buy this booth in the back of the show floor, and she was able to sell this. But I don't think there was an element of what she was selling. I don't think that's necessarily AX's concern.
Well,
check me on that though.
Yeah, there's just this weird gray line that I don't really understand of, like, say, Comic-Con, for example. It's twice as big as Comic-Con, I'm pretty sure. It's easily the biggest comic convention in the world.
Yeah.
And you have all these artists, drawing, porn of whatever show's airing. And it's like, how do you get the likeness but not pay those people? Or do they pay the people? Or...
Yeah.
What are the laws on that?
No, like...
Would those people even want to be paid for, like, having porn about their shows drawn? Like,
well, I mean, if you create something and someone uses your character's likeness,
still,
generally you assume to be compensated for that.
Still, it's just kind of like... It's like anybody can do what they want with
it. That could be a parody. That's a strange fair use.
Yeah, they could do whatever they want to the art. Like, it's like a remix,
Yeah, but remixes are technically illegal as well.
Yeah, it's just
confusing. We're talking about technicalities. Can you do it? Of course you can. So that was one of those questions I had. And I think
can't answer it. Sorry, Steve.
It's okay. It's sort of a just. I had so many. I spent the entire weekend just picking Truman's brain. I really hope he doesn't mind. Because he was down to answer, just like, oh yeah, of course, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever answers you got, they're going to be Truman answers. I don't know how like actually objective or universal anything he may have said was.
And obviously,
he's not as bad as Jay in that regard, but like even still, he believes in magic. So, unironically, apparently.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and I was hoping, we did Sabaton Con.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
Sabaton Con was great. It was like Autism Fest 2014.
We'll be back to Sabaton this year. AX has been more inspirational to like go back to Sabaton because that was a far more denser, far more.
Oh, it was like concentrated,
concentrated experience.
If AX was a Coors Light, this would be Absinthe here,
Yeah.
or Everclear.
But even if that were like the panels. When we went 2 years ago to Sabaton, there was a couple panels we went to, and they were like amateur, fan-made panels.
Horrible panels.
Some of the worst panels I've ever seen anywhere.
Like the fucking, what was it, Girl Gamers Matter or whatever, and then like the first 15 minutes was just, they were putting on like PewDiePie videos and then like League of Legends stream. I was like, what the fuck is this?
And then like the second panel was Ask the Survey Corps.
Oh yeah, the fucking Attack on Titan shit.
They're all cosplayers.
Oh, that was
retarded questions.
It was just like a room of like 300 fangirls like screaming like, which character do you like at like these like people pretending to be those characters.
It was
I don't want to know.
My brain started to hurt. I think I got sick at that point where I'm like, I don't feel very good.
I think we were part of like the 2% of actual guys at that like panel.
Yeah, and then the last one we did was like at night. It was like a hentai type panel. It was one of the 18, like that's the stuff I was sort of interested in.
Well, did you go with me to the crossplay one? Or was I talking about how to like, cosplay as the other gender?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
There's a lot of that going on.
There was actually a good crossplay panel at Sabaton. Okay. Like the people were legit knew what they were doing.
Right. But
Take what you want from that, but
I was like, okay, when you're like, and you told me, okay, AX has actual legit panels with actual creators.
Yeah, fucking Zune was here, Billy.
Aniki.
The man behind the memes.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, no, AX gets like the biggest possible people.
Right. So I'm like, okay, then I'm actually going to go to these panels and maybe learn something.
Oh yeah, and then
I only went to one panel, and it was just a couple of guys commenting on Faku.
Yeah.
And it's not that was not entertaining, because it was entertaining enough for me to like stay around long enough.
I mean, the Faku people are pretty baby dick, to be honest.
To give me a boner.
Yeah, the problem with AX now is it's so big that yes, they can get big guests, but you're gonna have to wait in line for like 3 or 4 hours to get into a panel that's big.
Right.
And that's like,
it sucks your day.
or you could pay $400 to get like the VIP pass.
Yeah, and Truman seemed to be like, well, that's the convention. You kind of have to learn to deal with it. Like, that's just, yeah, but like, if there was a way that could not happen,
that'd be a lot better.
Like, either I think personally they should not be in LA anymore. They should move to either San Diego or Anaheim. Something where there's a larger convention.
Yeah, and the problem is they just signed another deal with the LA Convention Center, so they're going to be there for like another 4 or 5 years.
Oh
Hey,
God.
from my point of view, as someone who like I definitely enjoy anime, but like am not into all the panels and shit. I don't really know what the value was besides just like getting really drunk and then just like looking at everything.
So
like,
you're
we
coming
just
at
went
it from the right way.
We went to the exhibition hall and like we were just being retards. Like
this was the this is a savage journey into the heart of the Otaku Dream. This was like,
well
what
put,
this,
Steve.
what this fuck is all about. Like, I still don't get it. I'm just like, I'm bewildered at this point. You seem to be the most. You seem to be a fan that's really into it, but also casual enough.
Oh yeah, no, I
think you and I can we're on the same page of like fandom of certain things where you're like, I'm not gonna fucking dress up.
Well, I mean, I'm currently fat and getting fatter. I'm not in cosplay shape, so I would next year. I'm trying to cosplay as a swole Tohos, like Swolhoos, as me and Jake are gonna call him. But one thing I would never want to do would be cosplay as and like not be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
Like, if I could pull it off, I would, but that also requires me, like, putting it together.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question. What makes you want to cosplay?
Just so I can be more entertaining to the people there, like being like a drunk swole Toho and just, like, calling niggas out. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure, like, what drives these people to dress up the way they do.
Oh, they just want to have, pictures taken.
Because there's a certain ego to that.
Oh, definitely.
Like, there's
I would want to provide entertainment. I want to be like part of the convention atmosphere as like, say if say this year if I saw some like super swole person cosplaying as like a female Toho character and they were also drunk, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So if I could be that person, I would be able to provide entertainment.
There were certain like people wearing next to nothing, and it was fine. There was nothing, like oh, these people are weird.
Well, I mean,
but like there's a level of like certain people had insanely well crafted costumes.
Yeah, I would never go that hard, but I wouldn't want to make it look so shitty where it's like, what's the point here?
Yeah.
Like you have to at least put enough effort so that it doesn't look just like you bought your Halloween costume from Kmart, Like you got to try a little bit harder.
There were some of those Overwatch bunny outfits that were like people seem to love.
I still haven't played the game.
Those were like bought.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
I mean, if it's over me,
everybody had the same one piece. It was like a one piece skin suit sort of thing.
Yeah.
That had all I had to do was buy the headphones. I don't know the game, but people were telling me that was supposed to be like a over meme.
Yeah, for why people cosplay, I don't know if I could really say because I don't know anyone that cosplays. But if I was gonna do it, I doubt it would be for the same reason. Like I would just like to be there to
right.
provide entertainment for everyone and have people get a good laugh. But
yeah, because you also have like you have sort of the egoless perspective of like let's have a good time.
Yeah, no, I'm not there to like get my picture taken.
Like you're not sitting in the.
I don't have a blog I run. Like check out all my cosplay pictures. This one's, shot by a professional photographer. And
there's like professional photographers there to take pictures, like to build their portfolio. Just take these random chicks and take them out to the stairs and fuck them.
Fuck them in the ass.
Fuck them.
Fuck them in the mouth.
And then take pictures of them.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, no.
They say, hey, can I take your pictures? Then we could fuck. And
that's
then,
that's
sometimes
usually
it
that,
works.
I saw a lot of that. Yeah.
and for me that was sort of a creepy thing.
Oh,
And
I mean,
certain
There's
level,
like
there's a certain-
90% of that place is just really creepy. Like,
yeah, Anime
we
Expo is
can't-
definitely creepy.
Here's the thing, and this is something I learned. We were taking pictures, you know, with me and you know, Truman was allowed me to like join in on some of these pictures,
Right.
And you know, a lot of them like you know, and some of them are just like you made a point of saying, be careful with some of these pictures where they don't know you're there. They may feel
Cosplay is not consent. It's a panel I've seen a couple years in a row now.
like how in the what does that even mean?
It means just because I'm dressing with like 2 pieces of clothing and I'm essentially naked, like that doesn't give you the right to do anything.
I
Yeah,
mean,
to fuck me
yeah.
in the ass.
but what about this nice boner that I got?
Yeah, no.
That's the problem.
It's the look, but don't touch. It's
That's a strange thing though. It's not. And I'm not saying like in the sense of like, oh man, I gotta get that. Like,
no.
but you know, it's like, God damn it, you know, you're asking for it.
I mean, with some of the shit I saw, goddamn. But like, that's how it is. It's kind of retarded, but like, I don't know. What's the alternative? People don't dress in these like lewd ass cosplays. I think I'd rather them dress in these lewd ass cosplays.
Oh yeah, of course.
you know?
But like, I wish they'd be more prone to the
I mean,
susceptibility.
3D PD. Like, who are we
Like-
kidding? We don't gonna fuck with them anyway. But
Oh yeah, of course. But like,
we got waifus to worry about.
but like that. There's that. If you know what you're getting into, you know, wearing such. It's for me. But I'm also the same person who thinks like bikinis are like just teasing. Just take your clothes off at the beach and don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like over the top. Like,
Oh yeah.
so like, I'm down for like, I think bikinis are a waste of clothing.
that they are.
So like, might as well just.
I'd rather see no bikinis.
I'd rather see no bikinis.
I'd rather see tits
I'm
and
all right
ass.
with that. You know,
Dick.
I think we can all get on that, get aboard that train
I
here.
think that's a waste of yeah.
I think it's a unanimous yes
So, that
on
being-
no bikinis.
that-
Just go topless.
Yeah.
I think
Tits, ass,
all
and
the
dick.
votes are in.
That being said, so but even at that, like I'd probably have certain levels of like if there was a certain level of normalcy to it, not no bikini part, but like, can't touch, like look but don't touch, just be normal about it, like so on, like faggots, like if they had that same sort of like attitude.
I mean, it's tough. Like, I don't know. It's a big convention, but late at night, it's still in LA,
Yeah, but everybody there is like beta level fucking 9,000. Like,
Not anymore. That's Sabaton Con. This is Anime Expo.
Still,
people
it's
are
like-
there with their girlfriends, that's where we're at now.
They double up at the.
Their wives or their kids and all
I
that
saw-
shit.
people are at
I
Anime
saw
Expo there with their girlfriends too, though. and
I saw a
shit, like-
family.
That's what I'm saying.
I saw
I thought you
a
said
family of
Sabaton.
Pokemon cosplayers, like
Yeah.
Daddy Snorlax,
Families are gay.
Uncle Charizard, and
straight.
nephew Charmander, little baby Pikachus. It was, that's it is probably the most diversified thing.
Yeah, no,
like it's nobody.
They've
like,
expanded the convention so large that
like it was,
and
it
they
was-
fucking cut Bow the Bands. Pissed me off so much.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know why the hell they didn't bring that one back. Like, it's so big, they can afford that. I guess no one gave a shit.
Was there a prize at the end of the
Yeah,
like a nice like $50 or something?
I don't know. I'd take just a badge for next year, whatever, any sort of
Sure,
prize, because
sure.
I know we'd fucking win. So.
Yeah, key badges for next year.
God damn, that'd be amazing. But yeah, never happened since 2013, the year we forgot to sign up. And then I was like, all right, 2014, sign up. Oh, no Bow the Bands. It hasn't been there since. We'd win
Damn
that so
shame.
easy.
Damn shame.
We're like the fucking psychedelic space beef band.
Yeah,
God damn it! Of course we'd win.
I mean, we're actually organized to do this now. Like
Yeah,
as far as
we're not like fucking retarded weebs that decide to play guitar just to like compete at AX.
Right.
We actually know how to play music.
right. And so that was kind of most of the day.
That's my little Bow the Bands.
Yeah. So basically, I spent the day my routine was like to kind of get up,
get coffee, go with Truman, go to the exhibit hall,
yeah, and then like
come back, watch me just get destroyed, leave again.
hey, let's go. Like you're like, what's the rush? I'm like, it's fun. We paid money to go to this thing.
Yeah,
Why
we
would
did.
you want to spend money to be there?
Definitely overshot the being in the zone day 1 and day 2. That's for sure. Day 3 and day 4 were great.
It makes a better story overall to a degree.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
I feel bad that you know.
I mean, it was my 4th AX. Like what? Like I've done a lot of AX stuff already.
right.
I don't necessarily feel as bad about missing out on stuff as long as I get a couple things done here and there, which I did eventually on the 3rd and 4th days.
Around the main floor to close and the kind of evening events to begin, because that's
Right.
when you get the filtered. Everything would filter down to
Yeah, all the kids are gonna leave
all the
because
kids are
they're
gonna
not
leave.
going to the hentai panels. You know?
No, you get more the I don't want to say peers, but they get more of our age range and younger.
Right. So a lot of it's 18 plus, 21 plus.
And it was like, okay, it's time to boogie. All right.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, okay, what do we got? And to a degree, like I got to meet up with my buddy Sean, and we went and got drinks and stuff. So at that point, we didn't know what was available. Looking at doing the night cafe. Which was more of looked like a strip club kind of joint. And I went seriously because I would walk around upstairs trying
Strip
to find
club
out.
at AX.
And he goes, Maid Cafe was sold out. So it's
Right.
like, I was told not to go by most people.
Yeah,
Except
it
for the one
wouldn't-
guy I was with. And he's like, dude, you gotta go to the Maid Cafe, man. It's so great. I'm like, yeah, I thought, sure. And I went,
Yeah, there was only butlers this time.
yeah.
You just went during a Butler cafe. They don't have them at the same time.
Bullshit.
Nope, that's how it works. You just went at
Fucked
the
up,
wrong
dude.
time.
It's fucked up. Whatever, at least
So-
I got to see the truth, dude.
So I'm walking around
Tell you about it later.
the upstairs areas where all the cafes are. And I walk past, there's a line outside for the night cafe. And I hadn't opened yet, I guess.
Right.
And I go, what's out here? What's this? What's night cafe? He's like, oh, and the guy's like,
So it's a night cafe.
liquor, strippers, music, it's all good. I'm like, okay, like the most nonchalant answer, saying booze and tits, and just like, okay, like maybe I should go. Like,
I can't remember. Did you get in?
Everything was sold out.
So you didn't get into the night cafe?
No, everything was sold out.
Were they actually topless,
On
or
a
were they just
Friday.
like in bikinis or whatever, lingerie?
I went to a Lounge 21 the next day during the day.
Can you tip them?
I don't think I don't really know.
Could you see their tits?
Yes.
Damn. Were they in cosplay?
Here's the thing. I went to Lounge 21 the next day, and there was a burlesque act that was being previewed for the night cafe.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go get a beer and watch this burlesque show that was happening while I'm waiting in line. And it was like a legit burlesque show. It's just like, it was the striptease and the tassels. And so there's like, okay, there's some like real dancing going on and all that stuff. And it was like fine.
I think they should have had
I'm pretty sure
anime
it was
holograms doing it. I don't know if I would have been comfortable seeing that.
you do what you need to, I guess. We were discussing basically we were wrapping up with the night. What happened during the day. Which is
Right.
a lot of convention, a lot of cosplay, a lot of hectic craziness.
Oh yeah.
And really, what I was looking forward to is getting my rocks off at the evening. I bought special condoms for the occasion, 2D waifu condoms.
That's all you need.
Nothing really happened, unfortunately. But anyway,
You were prepared.
I was prepared. You never knew it was going to happen. Something was going to happen. Wanted to be ready for it. And Lounge Cafe, all the cafes were sold out. That was to one degree or another. That was kind
Guess
of a
what?
drag.
The VIP badges for next year already sold out.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious. I already bought my badge for next year, and then I was looking. I was like, what? Like 2 days later, the VIP badges are sold
When did
out.
they go on?
The second the convention's over. So in 2 days.
Is this a non-profit?
I
Like,
would assume not.
The organizers? at
I
all?
don't think it's a non-profit.
Okay.
It'd be kind of weird.
It's strange. I mean, they got to pay for the housing for their volunteers, but that's about it.
Well, the way you volunteer is you get a badge. So then once your shift is done, you're free to.
Well, they pay for your hotel as well,
Oh,
and they give you like $30 to eat.
well, that's nice.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
and they get to work. They actually get to go to panels they're working at. So I mean, like,
Yeah, that's true.
that was one of the coolest things about doing like professional audio for commercial type stuff. It's like you get to sit in on these like conversations that go down,
Right.
good or bad. You know, you learn something.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was just a drag that the everything was just like locked down. Anything you wanted to explore other than the show floor and walking around the convention center was pretty much an effort not worth going through.
No, a lot of the panels, they have big guests, but like even still, you could get all your info online, to be honest, unless you wanted to really ask them something, then you could
Right.
maybe get a chance to ask them a question.
Yeah, so it was just sort of a
Yeah.
or just an experience to learn or see what's happening, what's next. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of like it's probably some kind of like E3 where you could probably find out the new games they're releasing.
Yeah.
You know, and then
I mean, more so even with E3. There's people that like stream live from E3 on YouTube. You know. You can find it all out as it's actually happening.
You're watching everything go down. It's just like
Yeah.
But you know, they're giving all these like kind of BS, like you know, all the platform companies are all like, we're bringing you the biggest,
We're
baddest,
revolutionizing the way you play video games.
by making a blue PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, like, it's not like the black one. Yeah, that was sort of the deal where I was disappointed in, where it's just like the effort to go through a lot of these things that even like as I had no agenda, so like I was following people.
Right.
Which, you know, somewhat meant I had to be in line, but didn't really mind. I wasn't missing out. I was like, I can't believe I gotta miss this out.
Right.
It was like I felt bad for other people who were like, but you know, honestly, at other conventions that I've been through in trade shows, there's several seminars and several panels I want to go to.
Right.
I'll plan a show out, I'll plan a convention hall out, but I will, you know, most of the time I'll end up on the convention floor meeting people or talking to people.
Right. Networking and connecting with.
And I'll rationalize my way out of going to certain halls.
Right.
Or just saying it's just too much time to go all the way up and go somewhere else. And half the time, the title of the show or the panel is probably the most exciting part of the whole thing. And you realize it's not exactly worth going to overall. Like the panels are never as like interesting as you want them to be.
Usually not. Sometimes you'll get a good panel, but yeah, it's more rare than common.
Very rarely do you actually get questions that you want answered there.
Especially at a place like Anime Expo, where like the majority of the people asking questions are going to be like either retarded, underage, or both. So you know.
Right. So it's like, so that was that. But I mean, even coming to the evening elements, it took about 3 hours? It took Jake and I about an hour or so to enter Lounge 21 the second night.
Yeah, Lounge 21 at night is pretty crazy.
And I was like, oh, man, I wish it was part of it not so crazy, but.
Yeah, no, that's like I said earlier on the show. I wish AX, their attendance was cut by a third.
Yeah, I think.
Like, just go the Disneyland route, raise the prices. I don't mind paying $20 extra, so that means I can actually get into shit.
Right.
But yeah, no, yeah, that's a downside of AX these days is that it's so goddamn big that it's
hard for me other than like I try to ask.
And for me, that makes it all the more justified doing what I did, treating it just like a party, you know.
Oh yeah, that's the way I want to go about it myself. Saying like, hey, let's just treat it like some
be part of like the ridiculous, chaos of everyone being a fucking weeb cosplaying.
When I was by myself walking around the halls because Truman had to go somewhere, I just put on my earbuds and start listening to like Big Brother and the Holding Company or Jefferson Airplane or some sort of like psychedelic trippy San Francisco band. I was like, just weird ass psychedelic music to walk around in these like crazy ass people.
Yep.
Like, who are these people? Oh.
Always a sight to see.
Madness.
Yeah. No.
And I still, like I try to sort of justify the convention being. Is there a level of like intensity that any other convention would have?
Oh,
because
I'm assuming Comic-Con can also be pretty crazy, but like the thing is, like comic books attract less weirdos than like
also,
anime and manga does.
It's also
you know?
a pop culture convention in general.
Yeah, it's like, let's see the next 10 years of Marvel movies that they planned out.
Well, that and just sort of the Star Wars panel is going to show up. The
Yeah.
Star Trek panel is going to show up. All these movie companies want to hear from the fans. We want to hear what you think and what you want because we want to service you, the fan,
Yeah.
and the general audience that'll buy popcorn.
With AX, it's more like the people making anime in Japan don't give a fucking shit about what what the hell we think in America.
Oh yeah, and
They're like slightly gearing towards that a little bit more. Like there's a couple of series that are being like co-produced by Netflix that are coming out soon.
okay.
So it's we got the foot in the door, but really have no say in like the general day-to-day operations of creation of anime and manga. It's exclusively a Japanese thing, and it will remain that way.
It's interesting because it was also like anime and Japanese culture convention.
Yes, yeah. There's
and
a
rarely
tea making panel.
was there a tea making panel?
Yeah, there was.
Was there a line for that?
I didn't end up
That's
going
something
to
I would
it.
have been interested in. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I'm more interested in other elements of Japanese culture than the actual otaku style.
Right.
Where like the aesthetic concepts they come with, like the negative space, the concept of in sushi, why is rice the main ingredient?
Right.
It's that sort of thing where the focus is on how the rice is built and supplemented by the
Yeah,
fish.
shit's definitely interesting,
Strange
but also
thought processes and like there was a
you
couple
can take what
swords.
you can get at AX. They had some of that, but it's not the place for that.
I will say the stuff I did like walking around the hall. I liked the fashion. Like I liked some of the clothing companies where you could buy anything from steampunk to like just interesting other wear and furry tails and heads and
Gotta support the furries. If in hell fur fags.
that sort of not necessarily the t-shirt companies and stuff like that, but sort of like just some of those more fashion level boutique companies.
Right.
Like got a chance to sell stuff. That was interesting. But some of the stuff that I just don't quite reach that level of, like if you're selling books and books, yes, action figures, like other conventions, like when I love going to like when they have like a bookseller there at all conventions.
Right.
Where I can check out what you're selling and what I could pick up and if there's anything I could learn or enjoy.
Okay.
So the manga panels, but yeah, when they're selling those $500 to $1,000 level toys,
Yeah, that shit is. I don't understand paying that much.
There's a joke where all these conventions, like they sell stuff. There are a lot of boutique stores that come to these things because they're boutique. And they have like either certain rare items or fashionable items that you can't get anywhere else.
It's more for collectors, I think, and like
there's a joke.
Just the whole thing about being a collector.
The giant hollow future landfill.
Yeah.
Like.
Pretty much. Like I said earlier, supporting the industry is one thing. Buying $1,000 Gundam figure, Sunrise already has unlimited money. They don't need your extra money to buy the $1,000 Gundam figure. That's just for the collector that's like, I got to collect them all. I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange.
Truman probably could give you a better explanation as to why he would make those purchases. I would never do it.
If it's a decoration in your home, more power to you. But I don't think.
It's a very specific home.
That's the level of like, if I decorated my bedroom with a bunch of old vinyl records.
Right.
That's a style that I like. I like to collect in those specific albums I really enjoy, and I either because of the art or the music, and especially if it's both.
Right.
But those were $2. Those were used. I'm probably not going to play them.
Probably not.
But they're hanging it's like art pieces.
Yeah.
And so or I have my friends' art hanging on my wall, or artists of people I like. So it's not a other than impressing. I don't know. It's a strange thing. 'Cause I don't want to like say, well, it's just a waste of money if you.
No, I mean I'll go ahead and say that. Yeah, it is a waste of money.
Okay.
I'll make the statement for you there.
So if you have like a figurine of Brock Samson, say it's not anime. Say it's like a Star Wars thing. Is it? I still feel it's somewhat of a waste of money. I'd rather see, but I'm one. I'd rather have like a book, see a collection of books or movies.
Wait,
or
something you can like open
something
up
you
and
can open
actually,
up
you know,
and-
use.
Yeah, or entertain people with.
Right.
You know, so it's like, oh, you know, here's my collection. Here's my personal library. No, here's my figurines. You're like,
Yeah, I think it's good if you want to go off the rails, maybe, and then just have all like the lewd ass figures where like the tits are out. Then you can go for like that certain, you know, aesthetic.
right.
Of just like, I clearly
Yeah.
don't give a fuck.
And often I think of times when you have like, if you're living with somebody, like
Yeah.
you're with like wife or a relationship of the sorts of partner, and you have like, I can just imagine like, just making decisions and like, unless she's also otaku or weeaboo or one of those,
Right.
one of the two, probably most likely on the weeb side. You know, she'd be
Almost
like,
certainly.
okay, yeah, we'll build our collection together. It'll be our personal thing that we can share together.
Right.
But most people, if you know, I can imagine most
Collectors.
collectors would have to sacrifice that collection or have it hidden in their man cave or something.
Right.
It just does not make sense to
It's
have
not
it
on
in-
display.
It's not on display to show your friends or show, you know, like, because it's essentially, the thing is, like, half the time I think I don't want to go on and say anime is we've talked about it. Anime is a bullshit medium.
Oh yeah, no, there's like less than 50 probably worthwhile shows
It's not
that
something
the
of
common public would have access to.
That's the thing, is I don't find it, if there's
It's a very new genre. It's in a very expensive genre. It's not like there isn't talented people working behind it. It's just that they can't afford to do better stuff because the process of making it is so risky that you really can only do certain things with it
Right.
and expect to make a profit back.
and so I have these when I see establishing the fact that it is something lacking oftentimes of substance,
Yeah.
someone taking that substance so seriously, I think that's the level of where I'm confused.
It's like the weeb shit where they wish they were born Japanese.
Well, yeah, that and like, you know, and I try to equate it to sports,
And, like,
sports where like,
You know, Hello Kitty, like Samurai, like Pokemon is the way of life, you know, like for
you could
whatever
probably-
reason.
and like there's a lot
You were
of
bullied as a kid.
There's a lot of Star Wars fans that could pry out some sort of philosophy or construct out of Star Wars.
Probably, yeah.
You know, oftentimes I won't. It's difficult to you know take seriously, other than like basic movie film structures. So like that level of like fandom of a genre and style which does not have a lot of substance to it.
No.
That it is I think that's the conundrum I'm struggling with.
Yeah,
'Cause,
there's no way to rationalize it.
Because there's like with sports, there's not a lot of like.
You can play sports. You can't play anime, you know?
Yeah, you could participate on a lower level. There's a little bit of athleticism. There's an art form in the athleticism. If
Yeah,
potentially
you can get exercise doing it.
Yeah,
There's a practical purpose.
the human body.
Well, I mean, you can
And
jack off to anime. There's a practical
you can jack
purpose
off to
there.
sports too.
I mean, it's a lot harder. You know, like it's, you know,
Right.
there's a whole market of anime or a whole section of it devoted just for that.
Have you seen the swimsuit model edition?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going
ESPN
SP
just
tier,
came out with
you're
a body.
watching the gymnastics at the Olympics. You probably get your jack on.
I am a fan of the Olympics, of the gymnastics of the Olympics, especially the female kind.
Oh yeah,
Those
those
16-year-old girls.
that's where it's at.
So that's the thing where like but with anime you can only get so much out of it other than really enjoying the low substance material and you know how they take it so seriously because
Yeah.
it comes off because like
It's
I've
great.
always thought like it on a and I don't want to sound like some sort of like old fart or anything, but it often comes out very childish.
I mean, more recently, a lot of salarymen in Japan have been able to and are supporting the industry, but
Yeah,
in general,
I can understand
it's
that like
the two main markets are kids and young adults.
right.
There's only been more of a recent phenomenon of shows marketed towards actual working adults.
Right.
So I mean, in general, the medium is geared towards that.
kids.
Yeah,
That's fair. That's fine.
but I mean, there is a distinction between like actual kids show and like kid shows and young adult shows.
Yeah.
like shows that people ages 4 to 12 would watch, and ages like 13 to 19 would watch. But in general, those two demographics make up probably 85% of the shows or whatever.
Yeah.
The lion's share of the market.
Yeah. So that's my fascination.
And
is
those
how-
also make up the most, or the majority of shows. Maybe 99% of the shows that people like in the West are the shows geared towards 19 and under.
Right.
Whereas like the real dank shit is made by the cynical bastards that are making the shows for like the depressed salarymen,
Right.
like the real hard hitting shit.
Yeah.
Where it actually has like good jokes and stuff, and like people that care more about like animating and like quality. So
We're gonna wrap up with the late to the game, but the MVP, the AX
Oh, the whole convention.
of the whole convention.
So
we
yeah,
got
we went from LVP to
James.
MVP.
yeah.
So yeah, let me take over here. Let me just talk about when we walked in. That was where it all started, dude. That's where that's where the fire in the eyes was lit up, dude. We walk in, and as soon as we walk in, there's a fucking giant projector screen with just like anime pussies spread out, and they're all bidding on this thing, like all these fuckers. And then they start
Where are you at?
This is the lounge.
We're
21.
in the lounge, the 21 lounge.
Okay.
Hosted by the event, the Faku event.
Yeah. Okay.
So whoever this fucking MC is or whatever is too, he starts like coloring it in. He's just like, yeah, fucking pussy, yeah, anime pussy. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, this is really weird. So I immediately started screaming. I was like, where's the dick? Where's the dick? Show me the dick. Like, I was just like, come on, equality, baby. Like, show me the dick. And then we fucking stand in line at the bar, getting our beers. Fucking, it's like $11 for a beer. And we go up to fucking see whatever this DJ is all about too. And then this is where it gets really bad, dude. There's like a crowd of people all dancing and shit. And I was like, oh, that's pretty strange. Like a bunch of anime weebs like dancing to some like electronic music and shit. And then this DJ, this fucking piece of shit, dude. He turns on like Drake music in the background, and he gets up jumping around, and he's lip singing fucking Drake and like getting all these weebs all hyped up, throwing out like gifts to the crowd, like thinking he's some fucking gangster, so I was immediately just like, turn your mic on, faggot, like top of my lungs, like just screaming. And then me, Jake, and Eric too were all dancing and humping each other and just like, turn your mic on. And yeah, after about 5 minutes of like trying to get this guy's attention and trying to piss him off, he does acknowledge me. He looks at me and he's just like, whatever, kind of shakes his head. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. I just dropped my beer like glass on the ground. And I just ran around and ran on the stage and started humping this guy as he's fucking trying to rap. And then he's like running away from me. He's like, what the fuck? Like,
Well,
then
hold
he
on. Also tried
goes
to,
to- hold on,
back up for a minute.
Backtrack. Before you humped him, I think you did a certain pantomime.
oh, I went to the middle of the stage and I humped the middle of the stage like 10 times.
Didn't you also try to suck the guy's dick?
No,
Yeah, the
and
first
then
thing I remember seeing was you like pretending to suck his dick.
Yeah, no. First thing I did was I ran in the middle of the stage and started humping it. And I was just like, yeah, fuck. And that's when I got up and he was behind his DJ booth and I got on my knees and started running at him on my knees going, oh, like, I was like, come here,
Approaching him
motherfucker.
on his knees.
Yeah.
Like,
And then he was like,
At
what the hell? Like,
incredibly fast
this guy was
speed.
running away from me, but of course I was catching him and like humping him. And like, I was really surprised at how little of a fight he was putting up. Like, I was just definitely getting in his business, like, for
Yeah,
like
it's
at
like-
least 30 seconds.
there's
you
no
know?
other like attraction on the stage. This is like clear for everyone to watch.
Yeah, like I'm just going full hard, like fuck this kid. And then I go in there's like a chair. I go sit in the chair and I start like fucking dancing around like I'm a stripper. Like, and then I go back to him, start humping him again. And then this little Asian security guard runs up and tries to fucking stop me. And his way of trying to stop me is he grabs my AX tag, around my neck. So I just like curled my chin and let him take the tag, and I ran away from him. And then I was like, fuck you, faggot. I started humping the DJ again. I was like, fuck you, fucker. And then this black guy came up and he just like looked so fucking distraught. He was just like, who the fuck is this kid? Like this little black dude. And then I was just like, all right, I kind of like hit me at that point. I was like, all right, I'm done. And I put my arm around the black guy. I was like, what's up, dude? And he was just like, he was still just kind of like, you fucking asshole. And then I went and gave the fucking DJ a fist bump. And of course he reciprocated because he's a little bitch. And then I just walked off the stage and left. And I was just,
They didn't even
it.
chase him or
Yeah,
anything.
I just
no one
dipped.
tried to apprehend you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, all right, I'm done here. Like,
So yeah,
making it the first time we've ever seen someone get away with.
Let me see if anyone ever posted a video of it.
Yeah, that'd be great. We should get that up there.
Dude, I'd love to see that. Oh my god, dude.
So.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that I was for sure saying I wasn't like regretting leaving early. That made me regret leaving early.
Yeah, dude, you fucking missed it. That guy was a true scum. Like,
but this makes me want to go back.
Yeah.
Like
was
I wasn't sure if
incredible.
I wanted to go back. That makes me want to go back and just be one of those dudes wreaking havoc because I don't give a fuck.
Dude, yeah, he was
But
terrible.
we're gonna take this thing to the next level next year
Yep.
and
Reeks of mad havoc.
reap some meme magic.
We're gonna go to the Maid of Butler Cafe too. We have to fucking do that. That was another story. I don't know.
We'll go buy. You know, you and I will go buy
now.
tickets in advance.
Yes.
We'll do everything.
These
I
guys.
want to.
Let me just say they thought they were like in sync.
I got my
give you that.
investigation. I got my investigation done this year, and I want to like take it all the way next year.
I went in totally just like no expectations, and I left just horribly disgusted. I'll say that much. Like, it was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was terrible.
terrible.
But that's why you got to do stuff like that. You know,
So
you got to hump the guy on the stage.
I think that wraps it up for Punish Steve Investigates Anime Expo, and we'll be bringing the PSI. We'll be bringing up more topics as this the podcast continues. So, want to thank everybody for listening, and want to thank James for doing what you do. Want to
Of
thank
course.
Drunk Retarded Eric for
Being
being
drunk
a
retarded.
song.
Eric.
It was more like D.R.E this time. Couldn't. It wore off. I'm sorry, Steve.
Broke Retarded Eric.
Buzzed.
Broke retarded Eric. Venus retarded Eric.
Benny's.
Benny's Wibus.
Benny's rectum Eric.
All right, not y'all.